There is a hormone inside your body right now that can control your hunger, stabilize your blood sugar, protect your heart, and even help you lose weight without a single prescription. Drug companies are making billions selling synthetic versions of it. But what if I told you that your body already knows how to make it, and that certain foods can turn that production up like a volume knob? The problem is, most people are eating the exact foods that turn it down. I'm Dr. Leonid Kim, and today we're diving deep into GLP-1, what it is, why it matters, and the specific foods and supplements that can help your body produce more of it naturally. We're going to cover 6 powerful insights that could change how you eat, how you feel, and how your metabolism works. Some of this will surprise you. Some of it might even feel like a secret the pharmaceutical industry hopes you never learn. But by the end of this video, you'll have a clear, actionable plan to boost this hormone using nothing but your kitchen and a few smart choices. Here's what most people don't realize. GLP-1, which stands for glucagon-like peptide 1, is not some new discovery. Scientists have known about it for decades. It's a hormone produced by specialized cells in your gut called L cells. These cells sit like tiny sensors along your intestines, waiting for food to pass by. When the right food arrives, they release GLP-1 into your bloodstream. And then the magic starts. GLP-1 does 3 critical things. First, it tells your pancreas to release insulin, but only when your blood sugar is actually high. It's like a smart thermostat that only turns on the heat when the room is cold. Second, it slows down how quickly food leaves your stomach. That means you feel full longer. And third, it sends direct signals to your brain saying, "We're satisfied. Stop eating now." Eating. But this is where it gets interesting. When GLP-1 levels are low, you feel hungry all the time. Your blood sugar spikes and crashes like a roller coaster. You store more fat, you crave sugar, and over time, this pattern drives weight gain, insulin resistance, and even type 2 diabetes. The synthetic GLP-1 drugs you've heard about, Ozempic, Wegovy, Trulicity, are essentially copies of this natural hormone. They work, but they're expensive. They have side effects. And here's the surprising part. Your body can make more of the real thing for free if you know how to feed it properly. Let's start with the single most powerful natural GLP-1 booster. And this changes everything. Most people get this wrong. They think fiber is just for digestion. It's not. Fiber is the primary fuel for your L cells, but not just any fiber. Soluble fiber, the kind that dissolves in water and forms a gel-like substance, is what triggers GLP-1 release most effectively. Here's the biological mechanism. When soluble fiber reaches your intestines, it ferments. That fermentation produces short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. These SCFAs are like chemical text messages that travel directly to your L cells and say, "Release GLP-1 now." The more soluble fiber you eat, the more SCFAs you produce, and the stronger your GLP-1 response. Think of it like this. Your gut is a garden. Soluble fiber is the fertilizer. The L cells are the flowers. Without fertilizer, the flowers wilt and produce almost nothing. With the right fertilizer, they bloom and pump out GLP-1 like a factory. The best sources? Oats and Oat Bran top the list. 1 cup of cooked oats contains about 4 grams of soluble fiber. But here's the surprising part. Barley contains even more, about 3.5 grams per cup, and it's less processed than many oat products. Legumes like lentils, chickpeas, and black beans are fiber powerhouses. A single cup of cooked lentils delivers roughly 8 grams of soluble fiber. Apples, especially with the skin, contain pectin, a soluble fiber that's been shown in studies to significantly increase GLP-1 secretion. And flax seeds, just 2 tablespoons ground up provide about 2 grams of soluble fiber plus omega-3s, which we'll talk about next. The daily protocol is simple but specific. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of total fiber per day, with at least 10 grams coming from soluble sources. Start your morning with oatmeal topped with ground flaxseed and sliced apple. Add beans to your lunch or dinner. Swap white rice for barley. These aren't dramatic changes, they're swaps, and they work. Now, let's talk about a nutrient most people associate with heart health and brain health. But here's what most people don't realize. Omega-3 fatty acids are also potent GLP-1 activators. The mechanism is fascinating. Omega-3s, particularly EPA and DHA, reduce inflammation in your gut lining. Remember that internal fire I mentioned? Chronic low-grade inflammation from processed foods, stress, poor sleep damages the very L cells that produce GLP-1. It's like trying to run a factory while the building is on fire. Omega-3s put out that fire. They cool the inflammation. They restore the health of your gut lining. And healthy L cells produce more GLP-1. But this is where it gets interesting. Omega-3s also improve the sensitivity of your L cells to glucose. That means when you eat carbohydrates, your gut responds with a stronger, faster GLP-1 release. Your blood sugar stays steadier, your cravings diminish, and you feel satisfied with less food. The best food sources? Fatty fish is king. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, herring, and anchovies. Wild-caught salmon provides about 2,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA per 4-ounce serving. Sardines are even more concentrated and far cheaper. A can of sardines delivers roughly 1,500 milligrams and costs less than a cup of coffee. For vegetarians or those who don't eat fish, algae-based omega-3 supplements are the only direct source of DHA and EPA from plants. Flax, chia, and walnuts contain ALA, which your body must convert to EPA and DHA. But here's the surprising part. That conversion rate is terrible, less than 10% in most people. So if you don't eat fish, algae supplements are your best bet. Daily usage. Aim for 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA per day from food or supplements. Take fish oil with a meal containing fat for better absorption. If you choose algae oil, the dose is similar, and always store omega-3 supplements in the refrigerator to prevent oxidation. That's when the oil goes rancid and becomes inflammatory itself. Most people get this wrong. They think protein is just for muscles, but protein is one of the most powerful natural stimulants of GLP-1 release, and not all protein is equal. Here's the mechanism. When protein reaches your intestines, it directly stimulates L cells through specific receptors. It's like a key fitting into a lock. The L cells recognize protein, and they respond by pumping out GLP-1. But the type of protein matters enormously. Whey protein, derived from dairy, has been shown in multiple studies to produce one of the strongest GLP-1 responses of any food. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that whey protein increased GLP-1 levels by up to 60% compared to other protein sources. The reason? Whey is rapidly absorbed and contains bioactive peptides that directly signal your gut cells. But here's the surprising part. The timing of protein intake matters just as much as the type. Eating protein at breakfast produces a stronger GLP-1 response than eating the same amount of protein at dinner. Why? Because your circadian rhythm affects gut hormone production. Your L cells are more responsive in the morning, so that protein-packed breakfast, it's not just fuel, it's a GLP-1 strategy. The daily protocol include 20 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at breakfast. A whey protein smoothie with berries and flaxseed is ideal. Eggs are excellent too, about 6 grams of protein each, plus choline for brain health. Greek yogurt provides roughly 15 to 20 grams per cup and contains whey naturally. For lunch and dinner, rotate between fish, poultry, legumes, and lean meats. Aim for roughly 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight daily, but front-load it toward breakfast and lunch. Common mistake: drinking protein shakes all day long. Your gut needs variety. Constant whey can actually reduce receptor sensitivity over time. Rotate your protein sources. Give your L cells different signals. This is the insight that most people have never heard. And it's a game changer. Bitter foods activate bitter taste receptors, not just on your tongue, but throughout your gut. And here's what most people don't realize. Your intestines are lined with these receptors. When bitter compounds bind to them, they trigger a cascade of signals that directly stimulate GLP-1 release. It's like flipping a switch that turns on your satiety hormone. The science is clear. Bitter compounds like berberine, found in golden seal and Oregon grape, have been shown to increase GLP-1 secretion significantly, but you don't need supplements to get this effect. Common foods work too. The surprising part is this. Coffee, yes, plain black coffee, is a bitter food that stimulates GLP-1. A study in the Journal of Nutrition found that coffee consumption increased GLL1 levels by approximately 50% after a meal. But, and this is critical, adding sugar and flavored creamers destroys the benefit. The sugar spike's insulin causes inflammation and overwhelms the natural GLP-1 signal. Other bitter GLP-1 boosters, dark leafy greens like arugula, dandelion greens, and endive, bitter melon, used in traditional Asian medicine for blood sugar control, contains compounds that directly activate L cells. And here's one most people miss. Extra virgin olive oil contains oleocanthal, a bitter compound with anti-inflammatory properties that also supports GLP-1 signaling. The daily protocol. Start your day with black coffee or green tea, both bitter, both GLP-1 friendly. Add bitter greens to your salads. Try bitter melon stir-fried or in soup if you enjoy Asian cuisine. And use extra virgin olive oil as your primary cooking and dressing oil. Just 1 to 2 tablespoons daily provides the oleocanthal benefit without excess calories. Myth versus fact. Myth: bitter foods are bad for digestion. Fact: bitter foods actually improve digestion by stimulating bile flow and enzyme production, which helps you absorb nutrients and supports gut health. Now, let's talk about something sitting in the back of your fridge that you probably ignore. And this changes everything. Fermented foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir, yogurt, and kombucha are packed with probiotics, live bacteria that colonize your gut. But here's what most people don't realize. These bacteria don't just help digestion, they actually communicate with your L cells and influence GLP-1 production. The mechanism is through the gut-brain axis and the production of those same short-chain fatty acids we talked about with fiber. Probiotic bacteria ferment fiber into SCFAs. Different bacteria produce different SCFAs. Akkermansia muciniphila, for example, is a beneficial bacterium strongly linked to improved metabolism and increased GLP-1 levels. And guess what feeds Akkermansia? Polyphenols from foods like cranberries, grapes, and green tea. But this is where it gets interesting. A study published in Diabetes Care found that people who consumed fermented foods daily had significantly better blood sugar control and higher levels of gut hormones, including GLP-1, compared to those who ate none. The effect was independent of weight loss. That means even without losing a pound, fermented foods were improving their metabolic hormones. The daily protocol include 1 serving of fermented food daily, a half cup of kimchi or sauerkraut with lunch, a cup of plain kefir or Greek yogurt for breakfast, a small glass of kombucha as an afternoon drink. Just watch the sugar content as some brands load it up. Look for kombucha with less than 5 grams of sugar per serving. Common mistake: thinking all yogurt is equal. Flavored yogurts with fruit on the bottom can contain 20 grams of added sugar. That sugar feeds bad bacteria, promotes inflammation, and cancels out the probiotic benefit. Choose plain, unsweetened yogurt and add your own berries. Let's address the question everyone's thinking. Do I need supplements, or can food alone do the job? Here's the honest answer. For most healthy people, food first is the best approach. But if you're struggling with weight, blood sugar, or appetite control, targeted supplements can give you an edge. And there are 3 that stand out for natural GLP-1 support. First, berberine. This compound, extracted from several plants, has been called nature's metformin. Studies show it increases GLP-1 secretion, improves insulin sensitivity, and supports weight loss. A meta-analysis in Metabolism found that berberine significantly reduced fasting blood sugar and HbA1c in people with type 2 diabetes. The typical dose is 500 milligrams taken 2 to 3 times daily before meals. But, and this is important, berberine can interact with medications and may cause digestive upset in some people. Talk to your doctor before starting it. Second, chromium picolinate. Chromium is a trace mineral that enhances insulin sensitivity and has been shown to modestly increase GLP-1 levels. The dose is typically 200 to 1,000 micrograms daily. It's generally well tolerated but should be used under medical supervision at higher doses. Third, magnesium. Most people are deficient in magnesium, and low magnesium impairs insulin signaling and GLP-1 function. A study in the journal Diabetes found that magnesium supplementation improved GLP-1 response in people with low magnesium levels. The recommended dose is 200 to 400 milligrams daily of magnesium glycinate or citrate, forms that absorb well without causing diarrhea. The surprising part, vitamin D also plays a role. Low vitamin D is associated with poor GLP-1 response and increased diabetes risk. If you don't get regular sun exposure, consider testing your levels and supplementing if needed. Most adults need 2,000 to 4,000 IU daily to maintain optimal levels. Let me give you a practical day-in-the-life plan that incorporates everything we've covered. Morning, wake up and drink a large glass of water, brew black coffee or green tea. For breakfast, have oatmeal cooked with ground flaxseed, topped with sliced apple and a handful of walnuts. Add a scoop of whey protein mixed into plain Greek yogurt. This breakfast hits soluble fiber, omega-3s, protein, and bitter compounds all at once. Mid-morning, if hungry, a small handful of almonds or a piece of dark chocolate, 70% cacao or higher. The bitterness and polyphenols support GLP-1. Lunch, a large salad with arugula and bitter greens, grilled salmon or sardines, chickpeas dressed with extra virgin olive oil and lemon. Add a half cup of kimchi or sauerkraut on the side. This delivers protein, omega-3s, fiber, bitter compounds, and fermented probiotics. Afternoon, green tea or kombucha. If you take supplements, now is a good time for berberine before a snack. Dinner, grilled chicken or tofu, a serving of barley or lentils, steamed bitter melon or broccoli, drizzled with olive oil. Keep dinner moderate in size. Your GLP-1 response is naturally lower in the evening, so overeating at night is easier. Evening. If you take magnesium, take it 1 to 2 hours before bed. It supports sleep, which we know is critical for metabolic health. Let me clear up some dangerous misinformation I see online. Myth 1. You can't boost GLP-1 naturally. You need drugs. Fact. While drugs are powerful, the foods and habits we've discussed today have been proven in clinical studies to increase GLP-1 levels. The effect may be more gradual, but it's real and sustainable. Myth 2. Just eat more protein and ignore everything else. Fact. Protein helps, but without fiber, omega-3s, and gut health, your L cells won't function optimally. It's the combination that creates the magic. Myth 3. GLP-1 only matters for weight loss. Fact. GLP-1 protects your heart, improves brain function, reduces inflammation, and may even lower cancer risk. It's about total health, not just the scale. Myth 4. Supplements can replace a bad diet. Fact, no supplement can outwork a diet of processed foods, sugar, and seed oils. Supplements support a good diet. They don't fix a bad one. I want to circle back to something critical. Remember that internal fire, inflammation, chronic inflammation is the enemy of GLP-1. When your gut is inflamed from processed foods, stress, poor sleep, or excess alcohol, your L cells become damaged and sluggish. They stop responding to food signals. Your GLP-1 production drops. You feel hungrier, you gain weight, and the cycle worsens. Every food we've discussed today fights that fire. Fiber feeds anti-inflammatory bacteria. Omega-3s cool the flames directly. Bitter foods stimulate protective pathways. Fermented foods restore gut balance. Protein rebuilds damaged tissue. And supplements fill the gaps. Think of your metabolism as a car engine. Inflammation is sand in the oil. GLP-1 is the oil pressure gauge. When the oil gets gritty, the pressure drops. The engine overheats. These foods and habits are like an oil change and a filter replacement. They clean the system, they restore pressure, and the engine runs smooth again. Before we close, let me warn you about the mistakes I see constantly. Mistake 1. Going too extreme too fast. Suddenly, eating 50 grams of fiber when you normally eat 10 will wreck your digestion. Increase fiber gradually over 2 to 3 weeks. Drink more water as you do. Mistake 2. Relying on processed, high-fiber bars and cereals. These often contain isolated fibers like inulin or chicory root in massive doses, which can cause bloating and gas. Whole food sources are always superior. Mistake 3. Taking berberine without medical supervision. It's powerful, but it can lower blood sugar too much if combined with diabetes medications. Respect it. Mistake 4. Ignoring sleep and stress. You can eat perfectly and still have terrible GLP-1 if you sleep 5 hours a night and live in chronic stress. Sleep deprivation raises cortisol, which impairs gut function and GLP-1 release. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours. Manage stress through walking, breathing exercises, or whatever works for you. Your body is not broken. It is not deficient in Ozempic. It is deficient in the right inputs, the foods, habits, and nutrients that allow your natural GLP-1 system to thrive. For millions of years, human bodies produced this hormone perfectly well without injections. The modern diet of processed foods, sugar, and stress has simply muted the signal. Today, you learned how to turn the volume back up. The 6 insights we covered: soluble fiber, omega-3s, strategic protein, bitter foods, fermented foods, and smart supplementation are not complicated. They are not expensive. They are choices, and choices are power. Most people will finish this video, feel inspired, and then go back to their usual breakfast tomorrow. But you're still here. That tells me you're different. You're ready to act. So here's what I want you to do. If this video gave you clarity, hit that like button. Share it with someone who's struggling with hunger, blood sugar, or weight, because this information could change their life without costing them a dime. Subscribe for more science-backed health content that respects your intelligence. And tell me in the comments, which of these GLP-1 boosters are you adding to your routine first? I read every comment and I'm here to help. Your body already has the pharmacy. You just need to stock the shelves. Start today, not Monday. Today, I'm Dr. Leonid Kim. Take care of your health.